Evelyn always trusted her instincts until her body started sending signals she didn't understand. A sudden dizzy spell, a strange tingling in her fingers, a brief moment of confusion. She shrugged them off at first. Just aging, she told herself. But what if these were warning signs? Neurological dysregulation can start with subtle symptoms, ones many seniors ignore until they get worse. Today we're revealing 5 silent signs that could indicate a deeper issue. Catching them early could mean the difference between decline and staying strong, steady, and sharp. 1. Unexplained dizziness or balance issues. Evelyn had always been sure-footed. She never thought twice about walking across a room, stepping off a curb, or reaching up to grab something from the top shelf. Balance had always been automatic, until suddenly, it wasn't. It started as something barely noticeable, a moment of hesitation before stepping down the stairs, a slight unsteadiness when turning too quickly. Then she found herself subtly reaching for furniture as she moved through the house, not because she was falling, just in case. Then came the dizzy spells. At first it was easy to ignore, a quick wave of lightheadedness when she stood up too fast, a brief moment of feeling off balance in the grocery store. But one afternoon, as she got up from the couch, the entire room spun, her vision blurred, her heart pounded, and for the first time, she felt genuinely afraid. She gripped the wall, waiting for the feeling to pass. It did, but the fear stayed. She brushed it off as dehydration. Maybe she hadn't been drinking enough water. Maybe she got up too fast. But when it happened again and again, she started wondering, was this just aging, or was something else happening? That's when she started researching, and what she learned shocked her. Balance and dizziness problems aren't just physical, they're neurological. The brain and nervous system control balance, coordination, and spatial awareness. When something goes wrong, whether it's due to nerve damage, circulation issues, or disrupted brain signals, the body struggles to stay upright. Evelyn realized this wasn't just a phase, or something she could ignore. Her brain was sending her a message, and she had to listen. She started with small, simple actions. Every morning, she spent a few minutes doing heel-to-toe walking, just like walking a tightrope, one foot in front of the other. At first she wobbled. She had to grab onto the counter. But over time, her steps became smoother, stronger, more confident. She also practiced standing on one foot, holding onto a sturdy chair for support. And every night, before bed, she did a few gentle neck and shoulder stretches to ease tension that could be affecting her balance. Within weeks, she noticed a change. She wasn't reaching for furniture as much. She wasn't hesitating before stepping off the curb. The dizziness became less frequent, then disappeared altogether. She felt in control again. If you've been feeling lightheaded, unsteady, or hesitant on your feet, don't brush it off. It could be your nervous system sending a warning sign. Strengthening your balance and brain connection can make all the difference. 2. Sudden memory gaps or confusion. Forgetting why you walked into a room is one thing, but when Evelyn started losing words in the middle of conversations, it terrified her. She had always been sharp. She prided herself on remembering birthdays, phone numbers, and details of conversations from years ago. But lately, something was different. It started small. She'd pause mid-sentence, trying to recall a simple word. She'd open the fridge and forget what she needed. But then came the moment that shook her. One afternoon, she was talking to a friend she had known for over 30 years. They were reminiscing about their families, their favorite vacations, their past adventures. But when she tried to say her friend's name, it was gone. It was right there on the tip of her tongue. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't grasp it. She covered it up with a nervous laugh, saying, "Oh, I'm having one of those senior moments." Her friend laughed too, but inside, Evelyn felt a cold wave of fear. Was this normal aging, or was something happening in her brain? That night, she found herself wide awake, thinking about it. She started reading about neurological health, memory loss, and brain function. What she discovered was both alarming and hopeful. Memory gaps can be an early sign of neurological dysregulation. The brain relies on strong neural pathways to store and retrieve information. But stress, poor circulation, and lack of stimulation can weaken those connections. The good news: the brain is incredibly adaptable. Evelyn knew she had to act. She refused to let her mind slip away. She made one simple change. She started walking every morning. She learned that movement isn't just for physical health. It's one of the best ways to stimulate brain function. Studies show that regular movement increases blood flow to the brain, reducing the risk of cognitive decline. At first, she walked for 10 minutes, then 20. Eventually, it became part of her daily routine. She also started challenging her brain in new ways. She picked up a book on a subject she had never studied before. She learned a few new words every day and practiced using them in conversation. She played simple memory games and tested herself on old facts she hadn't thought about in years. She even began deep breathing exercises, because she read that stress can make memory loss worse, and calming the nervous system can help rebuild focus and recall. The changes weren't immediate, but they were real. Within weeks, she noticed she wasn't searching for words as often. Her thoughts flowed more smoothly. She remembered grocery lists without writing them down. The mental fog started to clear, and the next time she saw her friend, she said her name without hesitation. If you've been struggling with memory lapses, forgetting familiar names, or feeling mentally foggy, don't ignore it. Your brain is asking for attention. Feed it movement, challenge, and calm. Small, consistent changes can protect your memory and keep your mind sharp for years to come. 3. Tingling, numbness, or weakness in limbs. One evening, as Evelyn sat in her favorite chair, knitting a scarf for her granddaughter, she felt something odd, a tingling sensation in her fingers. At first, she barely noticed it. She shook her hands, assuming they had just fallen asleep. Maybe she had been holding the knitting needles too tightly, or perhaps she had been sitting in the same position for too long. But as the days passed, it kept happening. The tingling would appear out of nowhere, sometimes in her fingers, sometimes in her feet. It wasn't painful, just strange, an odd prickling sensation, like tiny pins and needles moving beneath her skin. She ignored it at first. It was just one of those things, she thought, nothing serious. Then came the moments of weakness. One morning, as she reached for her teacup, something felt off. Her grip wasn't as strong as usual. The cup felt heavier, almost as if her fingers weren't responding the way they should. She had to use both hands to steady it. It was subtle, but unsettling. The first time, she brushed it off. Maybe she was just tired. But then it happened again. And again. That's when a small seed of worry took root. She started paying closer attention, and she noticed other little things too. Buttons on her blouse took a few extra seconds to fasten. Opening jars required more effort. Walking across the kitchen, she felt a slight weakness in her legs. Not enough to stop her, but enough to make her think. Still, she hesitated to tell anyone. She didn't want to seem paranoid. And besides, she reasoned, everyone experiences aches and stiffness as they age. But something inside her knew this wasn't just normal aging. One afternoon, while reading an article on nerve health, she came across something that made her stop. Tingling, numbness, and sudden weakness in the limbs are neurological red flags. The nervous system acts as a highway of communication between the brain and body. It sends signals that tell muscles when to move, fingers when to grip, and legs when to step forward. But when something disrupts that communication, whether it's nerve damage, circulation problems, or a vitamin deficiency, those signals weaken, leading to numbness, tingling, or even sudden weakness. That's when Evelyn knew she couldn't ignore it anymore. She started researching ways to support nerve health and made a few key changes. She added more B vitamins, magnesium, and omega-3s to her diet, nutrients that are essential for healthy nerve function. She also made sure to move more, stretching her hands, wiggling her fingers, and doing gentle foot exercises to improve circulation. Within weeks, she noticed something incredible. The tingling episodes became less frequent. Her grip strength improved. The weakness she had felt in her hands and feet began to fade. It was as if her body was responding to the care she was finally giving it. Looking back, she realized that her body had been warning her all along. She had been so used to pushing through discomfort, dismissing symptoms, and assuming everything was just part of aging, but now she knew better. Ignoring small signs could have led to bigger problems. If you've ever felt tingling, numbness, or sudden weakness in your limbs, don't wait for it to get worse. Your body is trying to tell you something. Listen to it, take action, because when it comes to your neurological health, early awareness can make all the difference. 4. Changes in speech or swallowing. Evelyn never thought much about how she spoke. Words had always come easily, her conversations flowing naturally. But one afternoon, over lunch with her daughter, she noticed something felt off. It wasn't dramatic. She wasn't slurring her words, but she felt like she had to work harder to get them out. There was a slight hesitation, almost as if her tongue wasn't moving as smoothly as before. She didn't mention it. Maybe she was just tired. Then later that week, something else happened. She took a sip of water, just a normal drink, like always, and suddenly she coughed. The liquid caught in her throat unexpectedly, making her eyes water as she tried to clear it. It was such a small moment, but it stuck with her. She began to pay attention. Over the next few weeks, she realized she was clearing her throat more often, struggling just a little to swallow certain foods, and sometimes feeling like her voice wasn't as strong. It wasn't dramatic enough to alarm her, but it made her uneasy. A quick online search told her something she never expected. Speech and swallowing changes can be early signs of neurological dysregulation. The nervous system controls the muscles in the mouth and throat, ensuring smooth movement when we talk, chew, and swallow. When those signals weaken, words may feel slower, speech less clear, and swallowing more difficult. Even minor changes could be a sign that the nervous system needs support. Evelyn refused to wait and see if it got worse. Instead, she started making small but powerful adjustments. She began practicing simple vocal exercises, humming in the mornings, reading aloud, even singing softly while doing dishes. She learned that just like any other muscle, the muscles responsible for speech need exercise to stay strong. She also made sure to sit upright while eating, take smaller bites, and sip water slowly. These tiny changes helped her feel in control again, instead of worrying with every meal or conversation. One afternoon, she realized something. She hadn't had to clear her throat all day. Her speech felt natural again, her swallowing steady. If you've noticed subtle changes in how you speak, clear your throat often, or feel like swallowing takes more effort than it used to, don't ignore it. Your nervous system may be sending you a message. Taking small steps today could protect your voice, your confidence, and your health for years to come. 5. Sleep disturbances or chronic fatigue. Evelyn had always been a good sleeper. She never needed much, just a comfortable bed, a cool room, and she was out like a light. But lately something had changed. She would fall asleep easily, but wake up at odd hours, feeling restless. Even when she managed a full 8 hours, she still felt exhausted in the morning. Some nights, she would toss and turn, her mind oddly alert, unable to drift back to sleep. At first, she blamed it on stress. Maybe she had too much on her mind. Maybe it was just part of aging. But then she realized this wasn't normal. She started reading about neurological health and sleep regulation, and what she found was surprising. The brain controls sleep cycles, regulating melatonin, repairing nerve function, and ensuring deep rest. When neurological dysregulation occurs, the brain struggles to maintain deep sleep cycles, leading to restless nights and constant fatigue. It made sense. Evelyn wasn't just tired. Her brain wasn't getting the recovery it needed. Instead of turning to sleeping pills, she decided to focus on her brain health. She made 3 small but effective changes. First, she turned off screens an hour before bed. The blue light from her phone and TV had been disrupting her brain's ability to wind down. Instead, she switched to reading a book or listening to soft music. Next, she started practicing deep breathing before bed. A simple breathing routine: inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 6, helped her body relax, signaling to her brain that it was time to rest. Finally, she added magnesium-rich foods to her diet: nuts, leafy greens, and a small cup of warm chamomile tea before bed. Magnesium is known to support nerve function and promote restful sleep. The results weren't instant, but within a few weeks, something changed. She woke up feeling more refreshed. The tossing and turning stopped. The exhaustion lifted. That's when she realized this wasn't just about getting more sleep. It was about helping her brain heal and reset. If you find yourself waking up multiple times a night, feeling mentally drained despite resting, or struggling with fatigue, no matter how much you sleep, don't dismiss it. Your nervous system may be struggling. Pay attention to how you rest, support your brain's ability to heal, and take small steps to improve your sleep hygiene. Rest isn't just about feeling good, it's about giving your brain the recovery it needs to keep you sharp, steady, and strong. Evelyn learned that small signs matter. Dizziness, memory gaps, tingling, speech changes, and sleep disturbances aren't just inconveniences, they can be signals from your nervous system asking for help. The good news? You can take action. Listen to your body, stay active, eat for brain health, and strengthen your nervous system with small daily habits. Your future self will thank you. If this video helped you, share it with a friend. Your awareness could change a life. Stay sharp, stay strong, and take care of your brain.